Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, your boy Virtus here, and welcome back to the Adobe Photoshop design series. In today's video, I am going to be giving you a couple of tips and tricks on how you can use smart guides, rulers and lines to help place objects inside of your scene and line things up. So if you take a quick look at my scene here, you can see I've got things quite nicely laid out, and that's all done through the use of these lines. And these lines I have just pretty much got centered in my scene here, and then I've just got my content spaced between it, which is quite nice. Like I said, we're going to be going over a few little things, including these lines, so just hang on tight and let's go for it. So first things first, before I can teach all of this stuff, I need to make sure you have rulers turned on, smart guides turned on, and you're able to work with lines. So you need to do a couple of things. So first things first, to actually make your rulers appear on the left and the top of your screen, go to Window, go to View, and then just make sure Rulers is turned on. If you want to, you can just press the shortcut, which is Ctrl+R, and that will turn them on here. And you can now see I've got my rulers at the top left and the top and on the left of my screen. We'll be going over what those will be used for in just a second. In addition to that, we also need to make sure we have our smart guides turned on. So just go to View at the top, and then if you go to Show, and then just make sure your smart guides is turned on. Like I said, I'll be going over that in a little bit more detail later on. So first things first, let's take a quick look at my ruler. Now my ruler might look a little bit different to yours, as I might be using a different measurement, I might even have a different canvas size. So what this ruler is basically doing is it's going to pretty much tell the designer, tell you guys whereabouts you are in your document. And this is all going to be proportionate to your canvas size as well. So if you take a look at this, you can see it's currently in centimeters, and my ruler is going from 0 at the top to 70 at the top over here as well. So it's got a width of about 70.5 centimeters. Now if you have a document that is 20 centimeters wide, then it's only going to go from 0 to 20. But the main purpose of this ruler is mostly to let you know how far you are through your document. And if you need to line something, let's say it's a physical product or a flyer or something like that, you need to be in a certain space, you can do that. And the way that you would do that is by using a line. So let's say you want something to start at exactly 22 centimeters in your document. The way I would do that is I would go and drag one of my rulers out, and I would create a simple little line like this, and then I would just line it up with 22 on here, and then from there I can just grab a piece of my content and then I can just move it exactly there. Now bear in mind this is just a duplicate for now, ignore that, but you can see just how easily I can use it to line things up with. In addition to that, your content is also going to snap to these lines to make things easier. So instead of it being fluid like it normally is, it's going to jump straight onto the line there. You see that little jump? So you see that little jump there, that's because, you know, it's a line and we have smart guides and all that good stuff. So, you know, you can use your lines just like that, or what you could also do is you can simply put the lines in the center of your screen, and then you can just put your content in between it. It's entirely up to you and how you use it. Now you will learn a couple of different ways that you can use it throughout this series, but for now I'm just going to go over like the practical use of it, how you can actually make it work, get it to appear on your screen. So that is pretty much everything for lines. Now in terms of this ruler, it doesn't necessarily have to be in centimeters. You can change this to different measurements such as pixels, inches, centimeters, millimeters, points, percent and picas. We're not going to be going into the bottom ones here, but for now, but you guys should know what pixels are, inches are, centimeters are, and millimeters. So millimeters, centimeters, and inches are all real world measurements, whereas pixels is sort of how many pixels it is on the screen. I'll let you guys look that up, but it's all to do with size basically. So let's say you're doing a physical print, you might want to work with centimeters as opposed to pixels, so that way you know how far through your A4 piece of paper it is, and where you should place it, that kind of thing. Play around with those different measurements. The way you can change that is simply by right clicking on the ruler and then just choosing the measurement from here. Alternatively, you can also go to Edit and then Preferences all the way at the bottom, General, give it a couple of seconds to load up, and then units and rulers, you can change this to pixels, inches, centimeters, whatever you like from up here. So I'm just going to go ahead and press OK and leave it exactly what it is now. If we have this at pixels, it's also going to do it for smart guides as well in a moment. I tend to try and use the same measurement throughout my rulers and my smart guides. So if I were doing it, I would change it from here and then from the ruler as well, just to make sure it all lines up. So for now, I'm just going to leave this at centimeters, press OK, and that will do it for smart guides later on and also the ruler. So with that done, let's take a quick look at smart guides. Once again, if you want to have it displayed on your screen, just go to view and then go to show and then just smart guides just like this. So let me show you what smart guides is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly duplicate one of my layers here, and then I'm going to move it up in my scene. And you can see I get all of these purple pink lines that I've got here, and that's just helping me line things up with other parts of our document. So for example, if I wanted to, I can now line it up with the top of this phone that I've got in this promotional image, and you can sort of see the distance that I've moved it from the original as well, which is quite nice. So let's say I wanted to line this up with the top of the phone. I can do that. And then if I go ahead and duplicate this again, I can then move it out from the original. If you just give me a second, so I think I might have duplicated the wrong layer. So, okay, so if we move it again now, I can then use the smart guide to line it up with the original object, and I can create patterns and that kind of cool thing. Duplicate it again and I can move it along. Now you can also see here just above my cursor, I've also got the distance that it is moved. I can use that to make sure the distance is exactly the same regardless of, well, not regardless of, but I can make sure it's exactly the same between each object. So you can see here when it is exactly the same, it will tell me it's exactly 1.38 centimeters between them. And then I can continue to make this pattern by simply duplicating it and then just moving it again and again and again. That is all what smart guides is for. It does help you a lot. Sometimes it can get in the way. If you wanted to, you can just turn it off by just going to show and then just turning off smart guides, but it's really useful. But anyway guys, that is pretty much everything I wanted to go over in today's video. Hopefully that it's going to help you along your path to becoming a designer. Once again, thanks for watching, keep creating, your boy Virtus signing out.